Prime Minister, we're in North Wales because they will have the UK's first small modular reactor, but it appears you've upset the US. Are you worried about the implications this could have on a special relationship?
Well, first let me be really clear what this announcement is. This is the biggest announcement in North Wales for a generation. It's a small modular reactor at Wilver in North Wales. That will be 3,000 jobs, and we start next year. And that's partnering with Rolls-Royce, so hugely important. But alongside that, there's another announcement, which is the AI growth zone, which is going to be here in North Wales as well. The two will go together. That's another 3,500 jobs, and it's fantastic to be at this college. These are 16 to 19-year-olds whose future will be in these projects. So a really important announcement. So far as the US is concerned, I'm really pleased that on the state visit we agreed to work more closely on civil nuclear, and it's not an either-or. It's not an SMR or wider nuclear. We're going to do both. So this is a win-win situation and a very, very good day for North Wales.
Prime Minister, an advisor of yours decided to brief against one of your cabinet colleagues. You say that was unauthorised. That makes it sound like you've lost complete control of your Downing Street operation. Why don't you sack the person who was responsible for attacking one of your colleagues?
First, let me be absolutely clear that any briefing against ministers is completely unacceptable. That's not a new position for me. It's a position I've adopted ever since I became Prime Minister, and I made it very, very clear to my team. I've been talking to my team today. I've been assured that no briefing against ministers was done from number 10, but I've made it clear that I find it absolutely unacceptable. If it transpires...
You're saying it didn't come from Downing Street?
I've been assured it didn't come from Downing Street, but I'd be equally clear that whether it's this case or any other, I intend to deal with it.
If it didn't come from Downing Street, where did it come from? Like, will you sack the person who's responsible?
Well, I will absolutely deal with anybody responsible for briefing against ministers, cabinet ministers or other ministers. I've always said that's the standard that I expect, and that's the standard that I will enforce.
There's a lot of anxiety in your party about the budget and the local elections in May. Do you accept that they need to go well for you to retain confidence in your party and the country?
What I accept is that we were elected on a manifesto of change, and we have to deliver change. That's why I'm really pleased to be here in North Wales with this announcement today, because previous governments have come in relation to the nuclear project here with a promise that something might happen in a year or two or three. We're coming here with delivery is really important.
What is your message to them?
Delivery is really important, and that's why I'm really pleased to announce today that this is happening. Many, many jobs for this part of the world, for the young people here. And in answer to your question, it is the change that people voted for when they voted at the last election. I'm deeply aware that we must deliver that change, so that's why I'm really pleased to be here today making this announcement.
Do you still have confidence in your Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney?
Well, of course I do. I work closely with my whole team. Our focus is on working for the country and making announcements like the announcement we made here today.
Chancellor, you said economic growth was the number one mission for this government when you came into office. You're clearly failing on that, aren't you?
The numbers for this quarter clearly reflect what happened at Jaguar Land Rover, a massive cyber attack, the biggest cyber attack that this country has ever experienced. And as a result, car manufacturing fell almost 30% in September. Jaguar Land Rover is now back and up and running, in part because of the support that this government put in, both to help with the cyber attack itself and also to support the supply chain so that our business has now begun car production again. Overall, this year to date, we have been the fastest growing economy in the G7, still awaiting US numbers, but of course in the first half of this year we were the fastest growing economy in the G7. Is there more to do? Absolutely. To grow our economy, to ensure there are good jobs, paying decent wages in all parts of the UK, which is why today I'm in Anglesey announcing a government investment alongside the private sector with Rolls-Royce as our preferred provider to create 3,000 jobs just here in Anglesey, building small modular reactors to power 3 million homes.
Your poll ratings as Chancellor are lower than any of your Tory predecessors except for Kwasi Kwarteng. Do you think that's justified?
Well, I'm not going to comment on polls. I'm going to focus on getting on and doing my job, including delivering the budget in 2 weeks' time. And that budget is going to be focused on the priorities of the British people, bringing down NHS waiting lists, dealing with the cost of living, and also bringing down the government debt that I inherited from the previous government to put our public finances on a firmer footing.
Less than 2 weeks before that budget happens, that could define your time as Chancellor. There's a suggestion that tax rises are coming. How is that going to help businesses, and how is that going to increase consumer confidence?
Well, since I became Chancellor, there's been 5 cuts in interest rates, which has reduced people's mortgage bills and helped businesses looking to grow their businesses. We've signed 3 trade deals with the US, with India, and with the EU. Of course, there is more to do. That's what the investment today here in North Wales is all about. But in the end, people will judge me on whether we have turned around the economy and whether living standards are improving, and I'm determined to do that.
Very quickly, some of your cabinet colleagues believe the Prime Minister should sack those who are responsible for briefing against Wes Streeting.
Well, the Prime Minister was really clear yesterday that there's no place for that sort of briefing and that sort of behaviour, and I absolutely agree with the Prime Minister.
Do you have confidence in his Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney?
Yes, I do, but the Prime Minister was really clear yesterday that there is no role for briefing against colleagues, and I very much agree with the Prime Minister.
So why won't he sack the person who's responsible?
Well, there I think is going to be a leak inquiry, but at the moment there is no evidence of where that briefing is coming from. But the Prime Minister was really clear yesterday that there is no role for that sort of briefing against colleagues.
Chancellor, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.